Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of Full Steam Ahead. I'm your host, Zoe. Cantu is on my right of my screen. Stebby is on my left. Boys, how was the weekend? How was it?
It's good. I'm done. I don't know how I'm still walking right now. Double header this Sunday, and I'm just running on vibes right now, honestly.
Yeah, just long, good little chill weekend. I stepped out yesterday, so today I felt like poo because I haven't been drinking that much. So it actually beat my ass today. So today, but honestly, for some reason, whenever I drink and I go do like a hard workout, like a hard run on Sunday, it feels easier. The days I prepare for it, I'm like cramping up and shit and like messing up. But it was an overall good weekend, man. How was yours, though?
Kevin, what's going on?
Yeah, Kevin, how's that brisket?
Yeah,
it's still smoking and he forgot about it.
Still smoking. But no, it was a good weekend. A little good weekend. Work, obviously, and of course, just spend time with the fam. That's all we can do. School is fixing to start for a bunch of kids too, and in HISD, Pearland ISD.
Got a bad teacher over here. You don't want to be on his naughty list this year.
But what's funny is too that kids are starting school early, like in the Houston area. We, at least for me, going back in my day, I'm thinking I'm that old.
You mean our day?
Yeah, but
same day, same age.
That's what I'm saying. Like 10 years ago, like we would go to school on August 20 something, or even the 27th, 23rd.
Yeah,
one of my little cousins goes to school tomorrow, I think, but he's private school, I think.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you got kids going to school on a Tuesday and a Wednesday.
Yeah, my cousin goes on Wednesday as well.
So that's never happened. But
as a teacher, that's nice. Gives us an extra day to get ready.
Yeah, and then you don't want to, like Stefan said, you don't want to get on Angel's naughty list over there.
I bet he's probably a mean teacher, no key.
And we got to, we're running all over you.
How many years have you been teaching now?
It'll be 6 years now. It's crazy.
Wow, big milestone.
I seen something about supposedly Trump was going to implement that new like physical education stuff again, where the kids got to run a mile. I remember when we were younger, they used to make sure it was mandatory that we could run a mile. So I don't know if they're doing it now again.
The pacer test and all that
too.
Test, I used to love doing that when I was growing up.
See, I remember doing that in
middle school.
I was trying to show out in front of the fine shish.
Baseline of baseline.
Dude, I remember in elementary, we're doing a mile, and I fucking pulled someone's shirt because he passed me up, and he fucking fell to the ground.
Gosh. They still got field day out there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. At least that's still going on. But of course, people do not want to hear us talk about our school days and even school getting back as well. But the title of this episode, Carlos and Jose take over New York. Houston Astros in general just took over the Bronx and the city of New York, episode 278. Kevin said, whatever the week of the 23rd, what grade?
Fourth grade.
I'd say what Stefan was talking about with the physical activity, that's probably middle school.
Because I think it was middle school. Yeah, it was definitely
elementary too.
Yeah, elementary as well.
I remember.
So, but yeah, Astros winning 2 of their 3 in New York, and of course we didn't have our last podcast episode.
Oh, yeah, we apologize for not being as consistent. We just got busy schedules at this point of our life right now.
At this moment, yes, so like he said. But the Astros handed out an L in that series against the Miami Marlins. So the Astros have been playing great baseball as of late after being swept by the Red Sox. Taking that series in Miami and then taking that series in New York was big time. I was saying, what grades can two teaching?
Fourth grade, Kevin. Yeah.
Nice. That's a good grade.
Like, you know what a good grade is.
I mean, like, that's a funny grade because, like, they're not too young. But like they're already kind of like that little young, mature age where they think like, oh yeah, I'm about to be in middle school already. You know what I mean? So they got a little knowledge.
So I don't send my kids.
So I don't send my kid.
All right, we're
But
getting off topic. We're getting off topic, but yeah, the Houston Astros. I mean, Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve. My gosh, they continue to put their stamp in the city of New York, Times Square, Chinatown, Brooklyn Bridge, the Bronx Zoo, whatever you want to describe over there in that Pizza Rats,
the concrete jungle.
concrete jungle, New York City. I mean, they did a really good job all around pitching. A lot of aggressive base running as well. We had some defense shown out there, as well as the offense. The offense really did a good job in this series overall for the Astros. So we're gonna recap that Yankee series. Carlos
Hey,
Correa.
Esteban, you were missed real quick. Sorry,
Yeah,
Stebbs is
Stebbs is
back.
back. Yeah, for
He
sure.
was missed.
Big time. Yeah. big time. Carlos Correa is on a tear because since being on the Houston Astros and wearing that orange gray jersey, he's been hitting the ball really well for Houston. Yiner and Walker are heating up, question mark. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. We'll dive into their numbers too as well. Preview that Red Sox series because the Astros will be playing the Red Sox once again at Dyken Park. Astros injury updates, and of course, we have a little bit of time. We'll maybe get around the horn. Cantu, let everybody know where they can find us and where they can listen to our beautiful voices.
Yeah, you can hear us wherever you get your podcast from, and you can follow for latest baseball content on X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. That's at Full Steam Ahead. The only different one is Instagram. That's at FSA Full Steam Ahead. But yeah, you can follow us there. Especially those YouTube shorts are coming in clutch. Like get your latest on there from either a Miss podcast or any latest on your favorite Astros player.
Yeah, big weekend for us coming up. Of course, Hall of Fame weekend for the Astros. Billy Wagner getting his number retired. For sure, I will be there. So hopefully we grab some more content and be able to capture that moment if you are not in attendance at Dyken Park. So should be very fun for this coming weekend. Got y'all boys on the big screen today. I didn't know you could rent out at AMC 30 or just AMC in general and rent out the IMAX. Put us on that big screen out there, baby. Put us out there.
That'd be pretty tough, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
But
Brace talking about his new Brace talking about his new 70-inch screen TV. That's what he's talking about right there.
70-inch TV, no furniture, just a TV right there with the Xbox on the floor, chilling, big vibes.
Hey, that's one of the
no
vibes,
bed,
baby.
no bed. Got a tent on the balcony.
With a $5 Academy, those pullover chairs.
As long as you got a buzz ball, he good.
That's the boys right there for you. That's a college thing.
Hey, have you seen those gallon alcoholic things now? I forgot what they call it. It's like the big gulp or some shit like that. It's like it comes in a fucking
the big buzz ball, right?
Yeah.
Jug. But real quick though, before we get into this little series about the Yankees and the Astros, Carlos Correa, prior to coming in to this series, in just 31 games against the Yankees with the Astros, Correa has put on a 305 average, 8 home runs, 25 RBIs, 371 OBP, and a 568 slugging. So this is before he came into this series.
Damn, we missed stats by Esteban. It's been a while since we had a stat by you, man. Gosh, gotta love it. And I think a lot of Astro fans love that as well. Another Fire Ass hat, of course, brought to you by Stebby. But Astros fans as well are loving Carlos Correa thrive in his new position, be able to bring some juice, some leadership into this clubhouse. We'll even show a video coming out with a little controversy, and we'll leave that to y'all. When he was rounding second base, going to third base on his home run today. So, we'll discuss that here in just a second. But your Astros are 67-52 record, first in the American League West. They are 0.5, a half game lead in the AL West because the Seattle Mariners, my gosh, I don't think they're ever going to lose another game.
9-1
on a 7-game winning streak, not to mention as well.
They're
playing
pretty hot, bro.
Yeah, they're playing hot baseball. You just got to give them credit, man. They've been playing good, and I mean the front office did their job trying to make some moves to make their team better, and grabbing Josh Naylor, getting a Eugenio, and then
dude, that was a really, really good picker for them because that guy just plugged and played in with that offense, and he's just been crushing it.
Yeah, go ahead, continue.
No, I was gonna say I just agree with Stevan. Like, yeah, he's been that whole offense has been on fire.
Speaking about like the Mariners, I mean they couldn't even do it without their pitching staff. Like Brian Wu, I believe today he went 6 innings once again, and they said that he was like the first pitcher since Clayton Kershaw in 2019 to start the season with 23 straight starts of 6 innings plus. That's just absolute dog right there.
Yeah, Brian Woo's a freaking dog. I mean, that, like I said, that whole rotation is really good. I mean, that's gonna be if they make the postseason.
It's gonna be a tough series for
Yeah, it's
sure
going to
for
be a very
anybody.
tough series. And we talked about it from the 22 year. Who was the toughest competition for the Astros if they make the postseason? And it was going to be the Seattle Mariners
Yeah,
because
at
I
that
didn't
if
see.
it really came down to it, I'll take Rangers all day over the Mariners in the series. There's like maybe like a wild card or something because to get behind that rotation is going to be a little tough.
Don't sleep on
Yeah,
the Rangers
yeah, but
rotation
the
either.
Rangers have a good rotation too.
Yeah,
But
you got DeGrom, you got
I mean,
Devaldi,
Degrom,
you picked
Evaldi,
up
yeah,
Merrill Kelly. I mean, that rotation's sick as well. So
yeah.
Yeah,
I,
it's gonna be, knowing how great talent and talented those wild card teams are, it's gonna be extremely important for the Astros to get that first round bye because I think all Astros fans know what happened last year with the Tigers. So yeah,
yeah, it's going to be very important for Houston to try to pick up that bye. I mean, think about it too. They're not too far behind in the American League. I think they're like 2 or 3 games maybe behind for the best record in the American League. So that's kind of good for Houston. But of course, you got somebody breathing down your neck with the Mariners, and like I mentioned, them two guys. And of course, you got Julio on a tear right now. Cal Raleigh, of course, being an MVP season. Randy
and then
Rosarena. I mean, the list goes on. This
and
team
then the
is really
Rangers,
good.
are only 2.5 games back from the third wild card spot. So the Astros, could easily go from a playoff team to another playoff team, especially if both the Rangers and the Mariners keep winning.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting down the road. It's always like I said in the beginning of the season. When it gets closer to September baseball in this series between them two teams, the division, it's going to be a toss up. It's going to come down to the wire like all these other seasons have came. I mean, last year you saw that the Astros were able to clinch at home against the Mariners. Literally the last day of 162 and 23, Rangers lost, Astros got it. They were able to win the division with that. I mean, it's going to come down to the wire, and that's exciting and nail biting for a fan of the Houston Nationals because you've seen the success of this team, but of course you can see the fluctuates of the offense, the defense, the pitching. List goes on.
Yeah, but let's get you started with this, this recap of the Yankee series. So we're not holding it up too long. But game one, the title of the episode, Carlos and Jose take over New York, and Jose made his presence known right off the bat. Starting of the game with a two-run home run to give the Astros a two-run lead. And then before I move on to any more of the offense, just Hunter Brown doing Hunter Brown things, 2-5 in the third inning, pitched 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, 89 pitches, 57 strikes. This was a nail biter, 2-2 going into the ninth inning. Both teams, had a pretty good opportunity to score, couldn't do it. Extras, and when the lights shine bright, when you need that cold-blooded hitter out there, Carlos Correa is the right man for the show right there. After a wild pitch, uh, made led until they go to third, single up the middle, and then Taylor Trammell basically calls game against his former team, and you know I'm sure that 3 run shot, or 2 run shot meant a lot to him. I think that was a lot, and I think that was special. That was a big one. A team that you know let him go, team that didn't believe in him, and then being able to do that, I think that was a full circle moment for Taylor Trammell.
I'll tell you what, Trammell is definitely in his villain era right now, especially on this little stench with the Astros. Being able to face all these old corporations that passed up on him, let him go. Like he's really motivated, and that's what the Astros need for somebody to come off the bench. You want somebody that's ready to come in and play and make a big impact, regardless of what they provide or what they bring to the table.
Yeah,
But yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
let me say real quick too. I mean, what he's done in a backup position has done a really good job stepping up for Jake Myers that obviously has been hurt um, before the All-Star break, and now look where it's at. I mean, of course, we'll have an update on that if we do. But him stepping up, and like you said, it's kind of like a chip on his shoulder. I mean, he's ready to thrive at any moment. Of course, there was one of the moments in game two that didn't go his way, but I mean, a big hit right there, being able to put some more insurance runs on the board for the Astros to claim that win. Because if you think about it, the Yankees would score another run, and without Tramel's home run, it wouldn't be there. But Tramel in the Astros uniform has done a really fabulous job. OPS over 700, 226, puts up good at bats. I mean, great defense as well displayed at center field. So he's done a really good job. And think about too, the organization could have won with their second best prospect in their farm with Jacob Melton, but they've seen what they've liked from Taylor, and he's done a really good job. Like I said, stepping up for a injured Jake Myers.
I like what one of our friends, I think it was Kev, mentioned in one of the group chats one time. It's like, I think we might have to just start booing Jose Altuve at home, because the way he gets booed on the road and he just makes them pay with a home run, especially the Yankees. I mean, it works out, man. And then this home run too, right here, was his 20th home run for Altuve, which was also his 7th time in his career with 20 home run seasons or more for Jose Altuve.
This guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. There shouldn't be no question. He should.
Yeah, the Yankees definitely are looking to put in a statue in the center field too of Altuve, because I mean he owns that franchise.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Jose Altuve joined some elite company with that 20th home run straight season. And I'll get that stat out for you right now.
Yeah, but let's real quick. I mean, the only loss in the series was in Game 2, and honestly, it could have been a sweep for the Astros. But credit to Trent Grisham, what he did on that ball on Brian King. But real quick, Framber Valdez too didn't have a really good outing as well. 5 2/3, 8 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, 1 strikeout. If you looked at the game throughout the whole time, I mean, his command on his curveball just wasn't there. And usually the bread and butter, like we talk about, sinker and curve. If one of them pitches isn't going, then it's going to be tough to stay afloat, especially against a team like the Yankees. So didn't have it. Of course, 4 runs, 4 walks isn't pretty either. Third straight loss, 2 for the Astros now when Framber Valdez pitches. This was a guy that was winning when he was on the mound, 10 plus games, and now
10 in a row.
Yeah, now it's kind of gone to the opposite direction with 3 straight loss when he's on the mound. But like we talk about, it could be fatigue too settling in, because it feels like a lot of pressure for these guys like him and Hunter Brown having to keep the rotation afloat when you got guys like, not putting them down or anything like that, but Cone Gordon, Lance McCullers Jr. when he has some good starts here and there, and Ryan Gusto, AJ Blueball, Jason Alexander, Brett. I mean, your 1-2 punch is trying to set the guys up and try to keep this team in a winning direction, but sometimes it just doesn't go that way. And sure enough, one of these starts for Framber, it just didn't go in the direction that he was really hoping for.
Yeah, I think this is just I think this is one of the stretches where Framber gets a little too in his head, a little emotions fell up. But I think once, and I'm sure Carlos Carrera are making his presence known, but I think once that communication starts, I think you'll start seeing a more cool, collected Framber. And I'm sure Carlos Carrera is talking to him on in the clubhouse on the side, just to make sure he gets his emotions up together.
Yeah, lately I feel like Framber's emotions been getting a little bit out of hand, and I hope he could collect himself and work on himself, because that's something that could really make a game go downhill. You know what I mean? If somebody gets in their head too much, or he gets a little frustrated, just because you're not always going to get an umpire's call. You're not always going to get the upper hand on those borderline pitches. And some situations, dribblers, bunts, infielder not making the throw. You kind of got to just control what you can control in those certain situations. And sometimes Framber gets in those situations, and it seems like he just puts his head down like a kid and just smacks his glove and just gets pissed about it, which it's a hard thing to do, but I mean, he's going to have to do something to help himself out.
And it's difficult for a pitcher, especially because you're the one in control of the whole game. You got to make the pitches right. And if you don't, then...
And then no matter how stubborn you're going to be, if you're going to be stubborn, you're not going to help yourself out.
Yeah, you're not going to help yourself. You're not going to help the team. It's just going to get out of hand, basically. But I just got some stats real quick from the second half. And, going back to 22, 9-2 record with a 3.02 ERA isn't bad for the second half of the All-Star break. And you go back to 23, and it was the opposite end, 5-5 record with a 4.66 ERA. You go back from last year, he finished the second half really strong, 7-2 with a 1.96 ERA. And he's going back to that 23 version of himself right now. After the All-Star break, he's 1-1 with a 4.01 ERA. So we've talked about it. You get a tale of 2 Frambers. If There's one farmer that's settling in, that's good and positive and everything, and then there's the one that gets irritated on some things, and if some things don't go his way, you can just see it in his expressions. You can see like Steban said, sometimes he just smacks the glove. For a good example, with that whole situation against where they had switched Cam Smith a little bit more to right center instead of just playing right field. You saw how he reacted. He hit his glove and was very frustrating. Talked to the media and kind of you could just hear it in his tone, like it just wasn't there. So yeah, with Carlos Correa, like you said, Angel here, and maybe it could be a difference maker for him to get better with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's one thing that's that's I guess that's one critique from Framber that might cost him a few bucks here and there. Is just his his emotions and being able to control himself. But it's a thing he needs to adjust to.
Yeah, one thing that I forgot to touch upon from game one from Hunter Brown that I wanted to bring up real quick. It's another quick stat. And through 22 starts, Hunter Brown 155 strikeouts with a 2.47 ERA. Only two Astros started better: Verlander in 2018 and Mike Scott in 1986 in Astros history.
Mike Scott, one of the greats. He's the only one. Just another quick stat. If you name anybody not know that, it's just a fact, not even a stat. The only National League player to win a MVP award in the championship series that didn't win that series. So the 86 Astros lost to the Mets in the Astrodome. And usually the MVP of that series, or just even the postseason, usually gets the MVP is the winning team. Well, Mike Scott was the one that got the MVP.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
That's crazy, right? And it's just weird, but I don't think they do that now, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you'd have a lot of pissed off fans about that.
Yeah, but the offense too, real quick, had a bunch of opportunities. I mean, Jerry Pena leadoff home run, Carlos Correa RBI single, Altuve RBI single. Uh, Great at bat from Christian Walker with David Bednar came into the game, RBI bases loaded to walk. And eighth inning right there was just a perfect opportunity for the Astros to pull away and get this game out of hand so the Yankees wouldn't be back in it. Because if that was the case, you would have saw Brian Abreu in the ninth inning. But eighth inning, 1 out. Yainer Diaz comes up to the plate, strikes out. Taylor Trammell follows with another strikeout. In that situation right there, you got to find a way, if you're Yainer, to put the ball in play. A sac fly to the outfield, fly out to the outfield, or even with his speed too.
He needs to ask Dubon tips, because Dubon, for some reason, when any situation, he knows how to just poke the bat out there, high pitch, low pitch, outside pitch. If he needs to get contact with it, he knows how to fight it off and either just put it in play.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was to say with Yainer, I think it's just him trying to do too much every single time, and instead of taking what the pitchers give him, because we've seen in the past that Yainer Diaz has a lot of power the other way, yet at times he's reluctant to go that way because he's trying to get slow pull happy. I think if he can work more walks, he'll be more successful on the plate because pitchers know that he's going to be chasing, so they throw him a lot of balls. But once you can control that, they'll have no choice but to come inside the plate to get him out, right? But it's just he's just a little, free swinger, and at times, it's like a high risk, high reward type of thing. But I don't think any Diaz will ever be a great hitter, a great Astros catcher until he learns how to take a little, take those walks and just giving it. They're just passing the baton sometimes. Like just do what you got to do a job, get on base, and then give it up to the next guy.
Yeah, for a little while we had like a little problem. Well, the Astros had a problem with Altuve being a chaser, and then he kind of cleaned it up. And then you get Pena was a really, really bad chaser, and then he cleans it up. And then now this season, whenever you thought Yainer had a pretty good season last year, you thought he was gonna, go a little better. He has a little more struggle this year with a lot of chase rate.
I would say this. I don't think Altuve has cleaned it up, but he's just a different breed.
Yeah, but I mean, Altuve used to be a pretty wild chaser.
I see what you mean, though. Yeah, I see what you mean, though. But you see, like I said, but Altuve is just a different breed. Yeah. He can get away with it, but Yainer can't.
Yeah, it's because like you said, Yainer has power. So I mean, I feel like he just has that in his head that like I want to go yard or like I'm trying to make an impact every at bat.
Yeah, Yainer Diaz in 23, 104 games, he had 74 strikeouts, 11 walks. As of today's game, 104 is today for him this season. He he has 70 strikeouts, and he has 15 walks.
He's getting better.
Yeah, but last year, obviously, he played a lot more. Of course, he's going to play a lot more here. But 148 games, he had 107 strikeouts and 24 walks. So honestly, 24 can be similar to 25. But I felt like last year his approach to the at bat was better. It wasn't swinging a lot of things, and you can see there's times that he does a really good job at some at bats that he doesn't chase. But like Angel said, just sometimes that will that he just loves to go out there and just try to hit a home run or something. And I don't know if you saw in that Marlins series, he had a home run, and that ball was kind of out of the zone. It was high, of course, over chest high, and he was able to knock it out.
Yeah, he tends to get a lot of those out, those like chest high hits.
And that's what a lot of teams feed off of. They see that and they're like, we know that he's going to chase. We know that he's going to come out of the zone. He's going to swing out no matter what. So, but the Astros 2-for-8 in runners in scoring position this game. 6 men left on base. Like I said, Trent Grisham hit a solo home run to put the Yankees in front with against Brian King in the 8th inning. And of course, 9th inning, David Bednar shut it down for the Yankees and would lose that game.
Yeah, this is one that the Astros should have definitely won, though. They should have won, could have won, and they just didn't take advantage of the opportunity.
Agree.
But let's move on here with Game 3. Astros are victorious once again, 7-1, and couldn't have got there without Alexander the Great, aka, well, not aka, but Alexander the Great, Jason Alexander. 6 innings pitched, 1 hit. Oh, he had a couple hits, I believe. Wasn't the one?
1 hit.
It was one hit.
Oh, it was one.
One hit.
So one hit. Yeah. 0 earned run, 3 walks, and 3 Ks, which he did carry a no hitter up into about 5 1/3 no hit.
Yeah, it was in the 6th inning. He had a no hitter too.
Which is, I mean, if you're to tell me at the beginning of the season a guy named Jason Alexander is gonna freaking go blank up the Yankees like that.
That wasn't on my bingo
card. Yeah, I was not gonna expect that. And I mean, what can I say? Sunday fun day it was at the ballpark for them. 87 pitches, 47 strikes, back-to-back quality starts for Alexander the Great. Offensively, leadoff home run once again, Jose Altuve. This is his 205th career home run, 394 feet. Which a fan did throw that ball back. Which I feel like if he really threw the real ball back, that was a pretty bad one. Because I mean, Altuve is going to definitely be one of the game's greatest, most hated second basemen in history. I'm pretty sure. Anyways. Yeah, go ahead. What do you want to say?
Just something about Altuve. You know, he, like you said, he had his 250 career home run that first inning, and he just needs one more double for 450. When he, I'm sure he's gonna hit it, but when he does, Altuve will be the 11th player in MLB history with 250 home runs, 300 stolen bases, and 450 doubles. And shout out to China Rome for doing all this math for us. And 2 Astros are actually, I would say 3 former Astros are on this list. Carlos Beltran, Craig Biggio, and I believe Bobby Abreu played for the Astros all year too.
Bobby Abreu was.
Yeah. So those are 3, and those are at the top of the list. I don't know if it's by alphabetical order, that's what it looks like, but yeah. I mean, pretty good list.
And I think that does put him at 25th player in MLB history with 250 home runs and 250 steals for sure.
Yeah. Also on that list is Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, Ricky Henderson. Those are some names you really want to be around.
And then also offensively, Walker RBI double, which Walker has been doing a phenomenal job since the end of July. He's been doing really, really well. Cam Smith, 2-run double, which this was a really, really, really good at bat. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but Cam got down and in the count real quick, and bases were juiced, and you could see Correa was applauding him and trying to, signal him to talk to him and give him some little motivation, like, hey, come on, Rook, let's get it done. And Cam Smith has been in a mean slump recently, and this series he kind of snapped out of it a little bit, especially with the RBI double right here when the Astros really needed it. He answered. And then also Correa just putting the icing on the cake for the Yankees fans. Altuve hits a homer, and then later on the same game, Correa hits a homer. 2025, and these guys are still terrorizing this franchise. I would hate to be at the ballpark. It seemed like a packed day at the park, and then around about that time when Correa goes yard, you look in the seats and it's just completely empty. Everybody want to go eat brunch and all that already by then. As well, Ramon Arias, RBI single, and Mauricio Dubon, RBI single as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of Yankee fans are tired of Jose Altuve. I don't know if you saw Yankees Twitter. They're basically begging Yankee fans to not boo at Jose Altuve. You even had John Boy give out stats of Jose Altuve, what he's done against the Yankees. And I think the last three words of that post was he's that good. And in my opinion, he's first battle Hall of Famer. It didn't even should have been good. It should have been great because he's been that great against the New York Yankees. Regular season, but more than anything that it counts, the postseason, he just terrorizes that team.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to bring up real quick too, dude, that since we're recapping the game 3, Brian Abreu, man, freaking lights out. 79 strikeouts from Abreu, most by relievers this season for Abreu. And I believe if it was, I want to say before coming into this series, in his last 20 outings, he's held a 1.27 ERA, 21.1 innings pitched, 11 hits, 6 walks, and 37 Ks.
Yeah, this is the same Abreu who I think.
And he's due for an extension.
Yeah. I think he was tied or just almost close to having the most innings pitched by a reliever too. He pitched 78.78 in the third inning last year too. It's just, you always call it, starters always get called workhorses, but this is an example of a workhorse reliever right there because he's, always doing this job off the pen.
Yeah, I think the Astros need to figure out a way to this coming off season because I think he might have 2 more years of arbitration. They got to find a way to keep this guy. They're going to have to find a way because he's a big staple to that bullpen. After he leaves, I mean, who you're going to put in that setup role? He's done a really good job in the setup role. Shoot, he can even go into a closer role if he really wanted to because he's that damn efficient.
And then to bring it up, like he comes in inheriting the bases loaded from Bennett Souza and gets 2 guys to fly out, 1 sack fly, obviously, but like nobody else scores off of that, and he just walks off the field and smiles like, whatever. Walked in your house and you ain't got nothing on me. I ain't phased. Y'all can boo me. Y'all can make all these noises. We're gonna get the job finished and get out this city.
Yeah, he's just been that damn good. Like honestly, the Astros have to find a way. The offseason is just going to be interesting for them overall, the organization. But
it'll be a headache for the organization.
Yeah, but it's a good headache though too at the same time because you have some good problems to figure out how we can make this team more competitive going into 26.
However, go ahead.
Yeah, however, a huge staple in Brian Abreu in this bullpen. Without him, this team wouldn't be going to the postseason. This team wouldn't have a good postseason by a bullpen in 22. He wouldn't have a combined no hitter. I mean, he's just been that good for Houston, never be in that setup role, and even in the seventh spot whenever Ryan Presley was here.
Yeah, and honestly, Brian Abreu will be a closer for more than half of these MLB organizations. So they just piggyback off what you're saying. He's that good.
Yeah, and you could bet Giants are looking at somebody to fill in for Camilo Duvall going to the Yankees.
Oh, also those new acquisitions that the Yankees got haven't been, as advertised.
Good for them, honestly.
Especially Devin Williams, dude.
Devin Williams has struggled in his first season as a Yankee.
Because I seen supposedly like last season he only gave up like 6 runs or something like the whole season.
Yeah, I think somebody had posted a stat about that. I did see that. That's crazy. And it was combined from 22 to 24, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Yeah. But one thing I did want to bring up, the Astros did leave 27 runners on base this whole series, which is wow. 27 runners on base. Imagine, they do take away the winning series, obviously, but imagine they're able to play home not all those runners, but at least majority of those.
Yeah, I mean, but
they would have been in that season at a baseball field.
Yeah, but the Astros did finish this road trip 4-5. I think it's good because they've won back-to-back series against the Marlins and the Yankees. Now they come back to Duncan Park to play the Red Sox. Maybe they get their revenge on them, sweeping them at home. It's going to be a good series overall. Just to finish off the Yankee series, though, real quick, overall thoughts. Astros just continue to play well against the New York Yankees. I mean, they've just done a fabulous job. In even the regular season, there have been some times that they struggled. Of course, if you remember last opening day, they got swept literally opening weekend at Minute Maid Park. But now I mean, they continue to play when it matters most, and it's usually the postseason. So, like I said, continue to play well against the Yanks. Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa are a big reason why the Astros offense had success this series. And both of them went for 6 for 11. I had to double check that, and they both went for 6 for 11, 545 batting average. Real quick, with Altuve, had a double, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, 3 walks. Carlos Correa, 6 for 11 as well with that 545 batting average, 2 doubles, a home run, 3 RBIs, and 3 walks. The Astros offense just continued to do a good job. Like I said, back-to-back series, scoring first. I know y'all didn't think I was going to say that, but yeah, scoring first. They scored
to mention that.
From the Marlins. That whole series, they scored first, and this whole series against the Yankees, you had a Jose Altuve leadoff home run, Jeremy Pena leadoff home run, Jose Altuve home run, Taylor Trammell insurance home run, and last but not least, Carlos Correa with the no-doubter home run. I think Yankee fans would have loved to hear that train horn going around Yankee Stadium
with the little smoke in the lights from the train.
I think Frank Sinatra could have made a remix with that too, because they love Frank. But real quick, just since we're on the offensive topic, I don't know if y'all saw this video of Carlos Correa.
So incredible.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, we'll show one more time.
Yeah, let us see. I don't think they've seen it.
Now I'm gonna ask y'all: was he referring to the quote unquote the buzzer of Jose Altuve not trying to take off his jersey? Esteban, I'll ask you first.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely is showing a little pettiness right there too. A stupid scandal that just got blown out of proportion.
Yeah, I think so because that's literally where it all started. There's been, it's been proven that Altuve never participated in that and never would, and yet the Yankee and supposedly media, I guess you could say, was very adamant that Jose Altuve had something that was giving him the sign. So it's an ode to that, obviously. Just to Carlos Correa. One thing he does is he talks the talk, but he walks the walk. That's
I think the whole scandal thing was pure sore losersness by the whole fan base of the Yankees and their media people, because I mean they just wanted to push that thing so hard, and I mean still to this day, like that's all they want to push. Like they got nothing else to cheer for, so I mean might as well talk all the crap you want.
And it continues to hurt them with Jose Altuve doing some damage.
Yeah, exactly. I mean the guy's still performing. Like, I mean, what are you gonna say? He's using a buzzer every time he's coming to freaking Yankee Stadium?
Well, I will say this: what Carlos Correa did right there, that's what I think needs this brotherhood, but energizes this group. Like, play with some pettiness, play with.
And
I don't want to say the word, but like
I personally love on this team right now that's just uplifting. Honestly, is Jesus Sanchez, dude. Every time you're looking at him, he's staring at pitchers in the eyes. He's smiling right at them, all like, "Yeah, I fouled that off."
He's a great dude.
He's out there in the outfield just cheering up joy, like having everybody excited and laughing and stuff. I think that's the energy the Astros were missing right there. It's like the way Randy Arozarena portrayed himself in the WBC for Team Mexico. Being real with the fans. And so I feel like when Jesus comes here to Minute Maid, he's gonna have be a real big fan favorite here.
Yeah, and that's just him being, genuine, honestly. Like even when I was able to interview him, he was all into the interview, and most players are just like sitting there, like just hurry up and get off. Yeah.
Oh, and then he kept saying praise to God in the interview.
Yeah, of course.
Praise to him, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, real good person. He's a guy that's always happy. He's just happy to play baseball, happy to be doing his, what he loves to do. So this is a great guy to talk to. I'm sure, like you said, I agree with you. I think he'll be a fan favorite for his stance for Houston.
I will say this, like I'm going back to that Correa thing. Somebody needs to fire this energy to this clubhouse, to this team, and play with some swagger. And that's what he did. I mean, this kind of shows you like he's backing up Altuve, of course. Like that's that brotherhood, like you said, Esteban. I mean, Carlos Correa is a big thing for Jose Altuve. They're brothers, man. I mean, And what he did right there, he's just backing his brother up.
And then you got to think about, like, once Jordan's back in this lineup, too, like, it's going to be really, really scary for the league. Like, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, you got a lot of depth coming back for this rotation, too, not to mention.
Especially with Javier coming back. That's one that I feel like he just does dominance with his presence on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, with the energy, you got two different personalities from this trade deadline with Correa, leadership, energy, guy that's going to back you up for anything. And then you got Jesus Sanchez laughing it up. Vibes are high, chilling in the outfield, talking to the guys, just living life out there, man. I mean,
just lollygagging.
Not even lollygagging, just enjoying the moment, just enjoying everything about it. Because, like you said, like you were saying, that was praise to God. I mean, because without him, he wouldn't be playing this game. Just even with us, like we wouldn't be even doing this podcast. Yeah. But to finish it off real quick, Costanza has been a great addition to this rotation when Joe Espada needs a starter. Come on, do y'all not know who this guy is? Like George Costanza?
No, I know. I've seen him. My mom used to watch Seinfeld, so I mean, I know who he is.
Jason Alexander, the actor for.
He looked like a New Yorker.
Yeah, he even talked to the Astros too in one of their episodes on Seinfeld. But I mean, just in a serious note, though, I mean, what Jason Alexander has done in the Astros when his number has been called is just almost the same thing as Brandon Walter. Same thing goes for Colin Gordon. All these guys that have came from AAA, and he's been a guy that's been in this game for so long. He's come into a relief role. He's been called as a starter for this team, and he's just done a really terrific job for the Astros. Good back-to-back starts. Of course, having a good one in Seattle, having a good one in Miami, and then having another good one here in New York. And them are three tough teams, honestly. Them are three tough teams. Seattle obviously being in playoff contention. Miami been playing hot baseball as of late when the Astros played them. And then, of course, the New York Yankees are the Yankees. And he's just done a fabulous job when his number has been called.
Yeah, the A's did the Astros a favor by, dropping them from their organization because Jason Alexander has been, I wouldn't even say the biggest surprise this season, honestly. I would, I think him, like you said, him and Brandon Walter are two of the biggest surprises this season. And without them, the Astros don't have a half game, or they wouldn't be in first place because honestly, the way Seattle Mariners playing, you want your big dogs, Hunter Brown, Fernando Odessa to get a win, but you need those other guys to follow up. And we got some players they have some players coming out from injury. So the fact that they can rely on Jason Alexander, that's just a bonus.
Real quick, postseason wins since 2015. Houston Astros sit in the top with 62. Los Angeles Dodgers right under us, 58. New York Yankees, 29. And Atlanta Braves, 24 postseason wins. Wow. Once again.
24?
Yeah.
29-24.
Well,
I did not expect that.
The Yankees have been, facing the Astros a lot, so it's a big part of it.
And they got swept too in 22, if I'm not mistaken, the ALCS. So yeah, it's the Correa magic. Jake coming in saying that we need a lot of people. Correa's arm is crazy, and he even said Jake Myers too. I don't know if he mean by Jake Myers needing to come back.
No, I think he's coming back. Yeah,
Jake does not have an arm.
I'm about to say I'm not 100% sure if Jake Myers.
I wish Trammell had a better arm, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like the outfield has been their arms. I feel like Cam Smith's arm has been good.
Jesus has a nice arm. I've seen
Sanchez has another good one.
Friday there was a game when I was watching the game, and the runner was gonna try to tag up on a shallow sac fly from third. And Jesus just was midway, and just you could see he launches it to Correa. Correa catches it real quick, and he just like he shakes his head and like pretty much tells him like, "Good throw, bro." Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're ready. Because some outfielders, they tend to like, "Oh, he's not gonna go, throw it in soft," and once they see that ball coming in softly, they're gone.
Yeah, crazy arm. I think I'm sure he gets about 98, 99, 98, 97 miles an hour on that throw too. So hitters beware.
Kevin was saying when he comes back, the lineup is going to be crazy. So it wasn't talking about his arm for damn sure. I'm testimony to that because I just don't see it happening. But you know who has a good arm, and that's Carlos Correa that's playing a good third base. I don't know if you saw a play too. He turned a double play in the hot corner. feeding it to, I believe it was Ramon Urias, and then throwing the first. It was either him or Dubon playing second base. Great job by him filling in that new position. I think he's going to thrive in that position, honestly. So when Isak Paredes comes back, whew,
what do you do?
Like I said, it's going to be an interesting offseason for the Houston Astros because, and it's a good problem, like we had said in the beginning.
I think that's where you tell Isak in the offseason, we need you to cut down a little bit of weight, get a little bit more agile because we're going to need you at second base.
Hey, he's versatile and he has some quick feet. Do not sleep on him.
I feel like you just tell him maybe drop a little bit of weight, maybe just 5-10 pounds, just to kind of feel a little lighter.
Do not call him fat.
I'm not calling him fat.
He's not like that. Come on, bro.
He's not fat. But I'm just saying, like,
But I mean, Correa, since returning into an Astros uniform, just felt like it was home for him, and he's even said in interviews. He even said it after the game, too, that he's excited to get back to Houston. I mean, it's going to be an electric atmosphere, I would say, on a Monday night at Daikin Park. But returning from, to the Astros, 405 batting average with a slash line 476 on base percentage and a 622 slugging, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, a 1.098 OPS, a 209 WRC plus, 6 multi-hit games, and is currently, as of right now, on a 5 consecutive multi-hit game streak. Angel, give me your thoughts on this because I know in the beginning you were very skeptical about the Astros trading for Correa and what he's brought to Houston besides the leadership and the clubhouse stuff. You got a guy that's willing to play a new position at third base. He looks like he's doing a really good job playing the hot corner, and not to mention the bat has done a really good job for this offense ever since.
I think he's just happy. I think you're still playing with the team that drafted you, number 1 overall, playing with Jose Altuve, and yes, still getting the bag. I think if it was up to Correa, I think he would have signed a long multi-year deal with the Astros in a heartbeat when he hit free agency. I think I think he would always want to stay in Houston, but obviously he wanted to get his family right, and you can't blame him on that, right? He didn't do what's best for him. And now those two things worked out. It's like a full circle moment. He's getting his bag and playing with the Astros. I think this is where he wants to be. So whenever you're somewhere happy, you're going to produce. And I think that's really what's going on right now. It's just he hasn't really missed a beat since he left.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you come back to a team that like you pretty much grew up with and everything, you just feel back at home because to begin with, whenever you get so used to a city or you have such a good bond somewhere, you go somewhere and you notice like, dang, back then it was so chill or it was just life was just different. You go to a different organization, you got different coaches, different medical staff, different media people, different teammates. It's a whole different thing to get used to, and especially weather. Going to Minnesota is definitely colder. Food's different, way farther from home for Correa, I bet. So coming back down to Houston, I bet you just warmer weather, being around the people he knows, familiar faces, it's going to feel good for him. And especially, I can't wait to see what his home stats are going to be like.
Yeah, I think it was a new change of scenery for him. And for him to go to Minnesota, I know JC, I remember talking to him, and he said that he loved Carlos had said that he enjoyed being in Minnesota, that he loved the weather out there too. So I don't know if it was being the cold being a factor. It's just I feel like you're a leader of the team with young guns coming up with Royce Lewis, Matt Wallner, Trevor Larnach. Of course, you had the vet in Byron Buxton, but you had some young faces coming up in this organization, and he tried his best. I mean, he was able to get the Twins a win for the first time in forever in their postseason drought. But just like I had mentioned, I mean, just a new time to come to the Astros with good players. Like Angel said, I mean, it was kind of best of both worlds for him because he's getting the bag with Houston, and not to mention too that he's being able to play in the team that he was drafted by with the Astros. So he's done a really good job doing that, and it's even a better thing for Houston too when a player is willing to move positions just for your franchise to be put in a better, in a better place of state. And of course, you have a Gold Glover and Jeremy Pena who's been doing really good at shortstop and having an all-star year this year. Why would you want to move him away from that? And usually that could bring up some controversy and some talks about like, well, man, I'm here. You traded for me for a reason, and that's my position right there. Nah, Correa, team player, wants to do whatever it takes to win for this ball club. Sure enough, he switched the position at third base, willing to give it a go. He even said it too for his career. It's going to help him and make him a better person. And sure enough, I mean, he hasn't missed a beat with Houston. And like Steban said, I'm very interested to see how the home stats are going to be for him from being the splits from home and away because I know this city is ready. It's been buzzing for Correa ever since the trade deadline. So Dyken Park is going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be freaking going ballistic Monday night.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be a good day to be at the ballpark Monday for sure. A little like off topic thing. It was Old Timers Day during the Astro series in New York, and Mariano Rivera tore his Achilles playing during the Old Timers game. Scrimmage, I guess you can say, which is crazy. So
He should just stand to pitching at that part, maybe.
yeah, I think so. I think he was in the outfield when it happened. They get a hit off Andy Pettit, So
That's
yeah,
cool though. I do like that the Mets even do it too. The Yankees do Old Timers Day. The Brewers recently this year, I think, almost had like an Old Timers Day. They had like a home run derby with
that's
former
softball.
players. Houston had that at a time. They did that at a time. I remember Luke Scott came back. I remember Jeff Blum was in the home run derby.
Mhm.
I would like Houston to like maybe do something like that for this city because I know a lot of fans would enjoy seeing the old timers. I wouldn't even say old timers, but seeing the players that they cheered for back then come back into an Astros uniform and maybe put up a home run derby or maybe put up a little game before or after one of the games.
Yeah, maybe stick to softball or something because I don't think any former Astro wants to tear their Achilles either
No.
on the field.
Man, that's crazy, bro.
But real quick, since we're talking about Correa, Diaz and Walker turning it around, is it a question mark? Is it question at all? Well, Diaz last 15 games, 283 batting average, 15 hits, six extra base hits, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, 509 slugging. The July month was really good for him, 286 batting average with an 843 OPS. Christian Walker, too, had a great July, 318 batting average with an 833 OPS. But in his last 15 games, almost similar to Yainer Diaz without the batting average, batted 259, 14 hits, 8 extra base hits, 3 home runs, 10 RBI, slugging 519. And he's off to a mid August, I would say, 257 batting average, but the OPS is really good, 905. And we've talked about this multiple times for the Astros, like who is going to have to step up with Jordan out of the lineup, with not Yainer, Jake Myers out of the lineup. Jose Altuve, Jeremy Pena was out of the lineup at times. I mean, who was going to step up? And we had talked about both of these guys needed to do it. I mean, not a bad last 15 games, not a bad month for Christian Walker in July, even Yainer Diaz included. However, there has been some talk about both of them being back to back in the lineup. Is that really good for this offense who's trying to get it going? I'm gonna ask y'all, is the lineup good where it's at with these guys hitting back to back with Christian Walker, Yainer Diaz following behind him? Or is it good that Joe should maybe look into putting Christian Walker in the 4 or 5 spot, and then putting Yainer Diaz in the 6 or 7 spot of this lineup? Steban, I'll ask you first.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Giannis should probably get bumped down a little bit. You really don't really see catchers hitting that high anyways, unless you're Cal Raleigh. But like I said, I mean, a lot of catchers are not really known to be that productive. In the whole game of baseball, they're never really like some catchers are obviously. Everybody has a purpose on the field, but a lot of times you mostly see whenever you hear a catcher, you think bottom of the lineup, not that fast, not that athletic. You know what I mean? So I mean, I think Yainer definitely should, go down a little bit to give us more depth of a power hitter at the bottom, but as well kind of, work on his discipline more and try to get on base more, a little less tension from, coming up in some really, really tough situations sometimes.
Real quick, Angel, before I let you talk, Christian Walker did have today. Yainer didn't play, obviously. Caratini was the one behind the plate, but Christian Walker today had a 3-for-4 game.
Yeah, he did really well.
I think getting the back to back at this point is not a big deal. I think Christian Walker puts up some great at bats. I think we all know Yanni Diaz is like free swinging types, but when he connects, he does some pretty good damage. So I think that's just show us about trusting his guys to be run producers. And I think I say 8 times out of 10 they'll hit.
I think I'd like to see maybe Jesus after Walker. If you're gonna,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because they had Walker in the 5th today, and then they had Sanchez hitting 7 today.
I did see something like that. I forgot if it was yesterday's lineup or was today's lineup.
Yeah, it was today's lineup.
Sanchez was batting down.
7. Yeah.
You would like to see that then basically you're saying.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But Christian Walker, I feel like he's having a silent offensive season. 16 home runs, 63 RBIs. Last year he had 26 home runs, 84 RBIs. I think he can possibly match 84 or possibly go over that number because we still got a good month of August left. We still got, of course, September. You got the big man coming back. I don't know when, but he's going to be returning soon for this lineup, and it gives a little bit more opportunities for Christian Walker too.
I seen the meme there like, yeah, Yordan's coming back August, right? 2025, right? And then it shows like a little calendar showing like August 2026, like the meme, and I was like, man, I hope not.
Yeah, Christian Walker though batting in the 5 spot is not bad. This season 296. I'm showing the slash line 296, 339, slugging 539, and OPS of 878. So a lot of fans are just giving him a lot of, I'm gonna just say it's shit because there's times that he strikes out. Of course, in the beginning and going into middle part of the season, he was struggling, and he was hitting into some bad luck. A lot of exit velo was over 100, just right at somebody. Ground ball hard to shortstop or third base. Line drive literally to the left fielder or right fielder. Just hitting into some bad luck. And right now, I mean, at least in the month of July, you saw that he was hitting really well. Right now, it's kind of mid, but I just feel like he's having a sleeping offensive season. I don't think it's really huge. Of course, I think a lot of Astro fans would love to see it huge, but I do predict that I think he's going to hit 20 home runs at the end of this season. He's going to, I want to say probably over 84 RBIs.
I could tell you what, some of these Astros fans are a little impatient, and I could feel like some of them do know ball, but I feel like some of them never really played. So, you got the fans that, never really played and didn't really understand the game, but they understand the game, but they don't understand it as a player aspect or a player standpoint. And then as well, like they want stuff rushed, like urgently. I need it now, I want it here, I want it there. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. But as well as like Walker is like he came into a shitty situation already. We had a shitty situation with Jose Abreu. Then you have the stint where you have John Singleton as your primary first baseman. So I mean, you can't really give him much because he's filling in the role something that was already damaged. So it's not like he's doing worse than what we already had.
Very good point there. I think the Astros fans just been kind of spoiled with Yuli Gurriel for a long time there, And honestly, I'm gonna say this right now: Yuli Gurriel was a great hitter, right? Given that, but the power Christian Walker dominates that aspect, in his career. But I think if Yuli Gurriel was here earlier with the Astros, I think those power numbers would have shown a little bit more. But that's not the way it worked.
Yeah, as of right now, of course, a negative 0.6 WAR. Of course, a lot of Astro fans don't like to hear that. As well as OPS under 700, 689. It could possibly go up. I'm looking at Baseball Reference right now. I know they don't refresh their stats
till tomorrow.
So that number right there could possibly be over 700. Of course, he hasn't hit over 700 since 21. 21, he had 696. 2020, he had a 792. But the other past 3 seasons, 804, 830, 803. And like y'all said, man, I think everybody has to be patient with him. And of course, the patience, it's already at the end of this damn season. How patient can you be? But like I said, I think the RBIs are going to be there. The home runs are going to be there. Not to mention, we did talk about the last podcast. People are crazy that they want him out this team, want him traded, because I don't know if you saw in this series, he made a hell of a defensive pick at first base when Framber Valdez had a ball hit into him. He had to rush it. He spiked it to the floor, and Walker picked it. So I don't know a lot of first basemen that could do that. I'm not putting down John Singleton if he could do that, but that's a tough position to be at first base. Of course, Jose Abreu too. So,
I mean, previously, when I'd watch a National game, whenever Abreu was out there and Singleton was out there, I would be kind of like worried, like, is a ball going to get smoked and go down the line? Is it going to be a free double, or are they not going to be able to have the agility to move over and cut off a ball? And with Walker, I feel like you have an opportunity in dang near every play that gets smoked. Even I'm talking about hard hit ball, dribblers. I feel like he just gives you the potential. He's a wall. It's in his name.
And that's the reason why. And that's the reason why Houston signed him. And on my opinion, this is why the reason Houston signed a first baseman, a defensive 3-time Gold Glove first baseman.
And then to mention too, the Astros, I think the all Gold Glove infield too they wrote out was it with Ramon Arias, Jeremy Pena, Correa.
They're rolling out a Gold Glove defense every day.
Yeah, every day.
Mauricio Dubon at second base, Jose Altuve second base. They've both won Gold Gloves. So this defense infield wise is just unstoppable. Of course, you're going to make an error here and there. That's just the natural game of baseball. But just overall, these two guys, and I agree with you. I think Walker being the 5 spot shouldn't be a problem. Of course, Yainer Diaz too. If his approach at the plate, like we talk about, there's some approaches that he goes in as at bats and he takes some good pitches and he works a good at bat, and then there's some at bats that he just swings away and swings at everything. So it's just kind of one of them things for him.
Yeah, and the recent surge has helped the Astros be number 2 in team batting average out of all 30, teams. Only the Toronto Blue Jays are on top of them with 269 team batting average. The Astros are second with 258, Milwaukee 257. So, they've been playing some good ball and they've been, getting on base a lot.
And real quick before we move on to our preview, I mean, the RBIs, the run producing has been coming from everybody. Everybody has contributed. Jeremy Pena has 44 RBIs. Jose Altuve has 61 RBIs. Victor Caratini, being a guy that's usually in a backup role, 37 RBIs. We already had talked about Walker having 62 RBIs or 64, my mistake. Yainer Diaz, 50 RBIs. So it's not a guy that's like from last year, like Kyle Tucker with 100 plus. Yordan Alvarez, of course, is on the injured list, 100 plus. I mean, everybody's just taking a big chunk of it and riding with it, and that's kind of a good thing. You don't need a guy that needs to be a stat pad and just try to run away with the most RBIs and all that shit. It's just the name of the game, just passing the baton and give it to the next guy so they can help this team out by building up some runs.
And they're also doing it without a guy that has like 30, 40 home runs already. Like, Yankees have Aaron Judge, Cal Riley in Seattle, Ohtani, in LA. So they're just doing it with guys that can play ball, do what they got to do a job, and not trying to do too much.
Definitely agree.
As of right now, Altuve is our leader, 21.
Yeah,
21 home runs.
Home runs, yeah. And then guess who's number 2? The guy that hasn't even been playing, Isaac Paredes.
How many does he have? What, 18?
19.
19.
Yainer follows with 16, tied with Christian Walker at 3.
Yeah, you see, so that's what I'm saying. That's the beauty of this lineup. It's just not one guy. It's not going to be one guy just being the big load of it and just going to be the mass production of this offense. It's everybody taking a chunk, taking a piece of the pie and being able to contribute some way. I mean, Victor Caratini had 2 damn grand slams on a road trip. That's 8 RBIs, obviously. Look at Carlos Correa real quick, 37 RBIs this season. Of course, majority of them being with the Twins, but I feel like that's going to pick up soon because he's batting third in this lineup. He's done a really good job. Not like I had mentioned, had 10 RBIs since returning to Houston. So I think when the big man comes back, I mean, it's just going to be more rolling. And then when you bring Jake Myers back, it's going to be rolling again. It's just right now what Houston's doing with the team that they have. And that's why a lot of analysts, MLB analysts, have given Joe Espada their flowers. I know we've talked a bit about it multiple times, but the way he's constructed these lineups, putting a team out there, getting the rotation ready, the bullpen, all that stuff. It goes right to Joe, but of course, the coaching staff as well, preparing really well for every series they have to begin.
Remember last year when a lot of fans were saying Joe Espada was the wrong decision to be manager, and now look at this.
And then think about Dana Brown too. Oh, Dana Brown's the worst GM, and look at the moves that he has brought. Jason Alexander, Taylor Scott, I mean, we can go on and on with this list. And he just picked up De Los Santos, and Astro fans haven't even seen him how he pitches. Maybe he can bring a little spark into that bullpen because we had talked about the Astros bullpen's really thin on right-handed pitchers. Hector Neris can't do everything. Of course, you got Brian Abreu being the setup guy. Caleb Orr did a really good job in this series too, not to mention.
Yep. But they took the series against the Yankees, and they're going against the Red Sox coming up, who swept them earlier this season. And the Astros did the Red Sox a favor by taking the series from the Yankees, honestly, because the Red Sox are second in the wild cards spot now. The Yankees are in third with the Guardians just a half game out. But the Red Sox come in with a 65-54 record against second in the AL East, 7-3 in the last 10 games. They did drop a series to San Diego though. And this time around, like I said, the Astros got swept by the Red Sox, and not even and their best pitcher didn't even pitch, and that's Gary Crochet. So Monday night's game, 7:10 start time, Gary Crochet versus Christian Javier. That's the name that we haven't said on the pitching preview in a while.
Since last year.
But yeah, so he last pitched May 21st, 2024 against the Angels, making his season debut. If you're an Astros fan, again, tomorrow's the day to be at the ballpark. Christian Javier makes his season debut. Carlos Correa back at home. Alex Bregman plays his first game at Dyken Park as a visitor. So a lot going on. Great, I know it's a Monday, but it'll be a pretty good day to finish it off at the ballpark because it's going to be a really good series.
Potential postseason series too.
I wonder if the Red Sox are gonna like put the pitching machine in a certain way to kind of replicate what Javier's arm releases, because every time Javier throws, it's like it looks like every ball is just rising fastball. It doesn't look flat. It just looks like it's always going up. So it looks like it's unhittable, honestly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how he produces again. It's a very tough team to be making your season debut against. I'll give them that for sure. The Red Sox have some ballers out there, and you're also going against Gary Crochet, who's 13-4 with a 2.224 ERA. Last pitch against Kansas City, he threw 7 innings strong, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. Very tough on lefty, so I wonder if Jesus Sanchez will play
Like,
because we talked about this when he first in. He's great against right-handers. He did play against Max Fried. He's lefty. Maybe that's why he was in the seventh hole during that game. So it'll be interesting to see there. He comes with a fastball, cutter, sinker, sweeper, and changeup, and he's in a 99 percentile in pitch and run value. So again, it's a great scene by Crochet. And another thing, the Red Sox aren't afraid to work Crochet deep into innings, or once he passed 100. I think I saw
let
start.
him eat.
Yeah, I think I saw start. I think it was like in the beginning, close to the beginning of the season. I think 1 month in, he was already throwing 113 pitches. So they're not afraid to. He's their workhorse for a reason.
Yeah, they're not calling him War Pig for a reason. I mean, that guy's a workhorse. But Christian Javier, just to touch up, he'd probably be on a pitch count, just like Spencer getting his first start. So if you're a Nationals fan, don't be too wild up that you're going to see him throw 5 innings, 6 innings. he'll probably reach the 5 inning mark, but more than likely the pitch count's probably going to be between 80 to 85.
I think so. Sounds about right. Another interesting match is be Tuesday against 7:10 start time. Dustin May, former Dodger, versus Spencer Getty, who is trying to redeem himself after that first outing. Versus Getty's 1-2 at a 7.43 ERA. Obviously, he's only 3 starts this season, so it's a little inflated. Versus Miami, 3.2 innings pitched, 11 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. But he was, like Lorenzo said earlier, he was on the pitch count, but it wasn't pretty. Not a great first start. It'll be a very hard team to follow up, but I think Spencer Getty, could have a better outing than he did against Miami. Fastball's averaging 93 miles per hour, which is a good thing because in this last start, which is a good thing because that's where he was at, to begin the season with as well. They will be going against Dustin May, who's 6-8, 4.93 ERA, versus KC, which is his first start with Boston because he was traded from the Dodgers. At the trade deadline, 3 2/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 0 runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. So it wasn't, the greatest, team debut. Throws a lot of sweepers. That's his best pitch. He also follows that with a sinker, fastball, cutter. and he's only had one other start against Houston too. He's only pitched 3.1, 3 1/3 inning for Houston. That was the start when he was with the Dodgers.
Go ahead, Stevie. I know you want to say something.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. This is going to be a very tough one to be a hitter on Monday. I mean, on Tuesday for both sides. I mean, both of these guys throw wiffle ball like sweepers and sliders. So I mean, you're going to see a lot of whiffs being produced this game, and you could bet Arrigetti's going to try to come at a different level because his first start was a little rough. But I mean, it was a rehab start, basically, in my opinion. And this one, he's going to look for a bounce back and try to go a little bit deeper in the pitch count.
Yeah, not just that, but this is a team that he had success in at Fenway.
Yeah, last time was showcase.
Yeah, he did a really. I think if I'm not mistaken, he went scoreless. I know for sure, and double-digit strikeouts. So he's looking to replicate that here at Darkin Park. Big series for the Astros. But Dustin May, not to mention, heavy dose of sweepers. But I think Boston had found a little kink in his arsenal, and they believe that cutter could be some wonders in his arsenal. So then possibility you could see some cutters being thrown a little bit more besides the sweeper in some of these at bats to some of these hitters. But just like Steban said, Arrigetti, I think you're going to look at a different start. Home environment too, not to mention. I think it's going to be if I got to predict, I'd go 6 innings, 2 earned run baseball.
And Arrigetti is somebody that was very ecstatic too of the return of Carlos Correa. He said, I can't wait to be teammates with him. I can't wait to play the field with him again. And now
not to mention too, this is a guy that he got to see at a playoff game.
Yeah.
So because he
was as a fan perspective too.
Yeah, he grew up as an Astros fan, and he used to come to these games with Jose Altuve, George Springer, Carlos Correa, and he's with being teammates with Altuve. Now he gets to be teammates with Correa. So that's pretty. And of course, he was a teammate with Bregman last year, but it's a full circle moment for him. And like I said, prediction 6 innings, gives up 2 runs.
Dude, and then what better fitting too as well is that you're born and raised in Houston as well, and then you play in your home field, your home city is there's video game right there. It's like
my career.
Yeah, my career. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is gonna be a very important series for the Astros. Like as I said earlier, half game lead against Seattle Mariners, and the Mariners are be going against the Baltimore Orioles, who aren't having the best season such. So if the Astros were to get swept, it's a really good, I would say the Mariners will probably be on top of the division, right, by the end of the week. So the Astros need to not get swept and, win the series basically, and they have the pitcher to do it on Wednesday, 6:10 start time, Walker Buehler versus Hunter Brown. 6:10 on Wednesday?
Yep, 6:10 start time, which is very funny. Might as well do it 7.
Probably they have a day. Probably both teams have a day off on Thursday then. Walker Buehler versus Hunter Brown. Brown on if I with a 2.51 ERA. And versus the Yankees, if you weren't here when I read the stat line, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Has pitched better this month than July. He did struggle in July mightily. Like his ERA surge was a lot, very raised up a lot, but has been pitching better. So I see that's trend to continue, honestly. We're going against Walker Buehler, 7-6 with 5.40 ERA versus San Diego. He did pitch lights out. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. However, he did pitch against Houston earlier this season and had 9 hits and was not able to get to 5 innings pitched. So this is a guy that the Astros have seen. So it's a pretty good chance to replicate that success they had earlier in Fenway Park.
Yeah, good series for the Astros to try to get it. Like I said, a revenge series on these Red Sox. I mean, they got swept over there at Fenway, and what the heck? Why not try to sweep them at Darkin Park and on y'all's home field? So, and of course, Boston's going to come in here with some vengeance and trying to find a way to get on track and on top of that wild card stands because the Blue Jays are playing great baseball, and of course, they could still be trying to get them, but
and they beat the Dodgers.
Do what they can.
I want to say they beat the Dodgers to the Blue Jays, or won that. They might have won that series, did they?
The Blue Jays?
Yeah, I think so.
Possibility. I know for sure they won today.
But this one right here is just pretty much Astros versus ex-Dodger pitching, basically.
Ex-Dodger, Dustin May.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
Dustin
May and Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler was a Dodger as well, and I believe he had a good outing against us once in the postseason matchup.
Walker Buehler.
I think he had a very not a very important game. But I want to say he had a good outing against us in his Dodger uni once.
Oh, okay, I thought you had mentioned
in the regular season,
Yeah, probably the regular season. It couldn't be the postseason. They played only 2017.
Yeah, so it definitely was regular season. Sorry about that.
Okay.
But it's a long-awaited episode, and I'm glad we got a shorter injury list to update y'all on real quick. So let's just brush on real quick and get this over with. Astros injury update. Luis Garcia, rehab continues. Pitched 4 innings, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 7 Ks on Thursday. And I was actually watching this matchup because I believe there was no Astro baseball, and I think all the baseball games were done with for the day.
Yeah, so Thursday was a off day for the Astros. They were traveling to New York.
So whenever I was like, what do I watch? Because, I mean, whenever I got Astros or Houston team to watch, I usually just watch baseball in general. You know what I mean? I'm just a baseball fan overall, and I was able to watch this game, and he looked good. Lewis looked really good. So hopefully he could stay on track and get back with the Astros because we're going to need him for this rest of the remainder of the season and get to the World Series again, hopefully. And then next up, we got JP France. Rehab continues. Pitched 3.2 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 3 Ks on Thursday. This is not.
No, it was on
Friday, right?
Friday.
Yeah. Through 63 pitches, 32 strikes, topped that at 95 mile per hour and averaged about 93. So somebody that was coming off a shoulder injury, that's good to see the velocity is still up there and not down in the lower 90s.
Yeah, both pitchers are still at like 60 plus pitches. That tells me maybe 2 more rehab assignments before they are back in, the roster.
And that's huge for Houston. You bring Luis Garcia, who has a funky new delivery, and a lot of people have compared it to Framber Valdez as a righty. But it'd be nice to see Luis Garcia back and pitching for the Astros again. Of course, JP France. That's a lot. You got Deb coming back. You got Lance McCullers Jr., who's still dealing with that blister. He threw a simulated game.
And you did mention that we're missing right-handed relief pitching. So, I mean,
that could be a bad JP, which is interesting. And that's where my take is because you're bringing JP France as a starter. And, of course, there's nothing wrong with bringing starters. But there's a lot of, when you add France into this rotation, you got a lot of depth. And that's a guy that you can possibly use in a bullpen role when you need a middle relief guy or a guy that can give you 2+. Well, middle relief guy is 2+ innings. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I mean, the bright side for Houston, you get Luis Garcia back, you get JP France back, you get Lance McCullers Jr. back. You do not have to use guys like Jason Alexander, the Brandon Walters, the coach.
Although they pitch great.
They do pitch, Brandon Walter, Colin Gordon, of course, respect to them. But you have your guys in Garcia that's pitch in this rotation. You've had France pitch in this rotation. Shoot, there will be times that this team's going to need a 6-man in one of these. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but one of these upcoming consecutive day series, which they play like 17 games straight. And of course, you're going to need a 6-man rotation in that, department. But when you get those guys back, Luis Garcia is probably going to fill in the role for Jason Alexander, and possibly not, because they're coming back.
Yeah, they actually have a long, I wouldn't say road trip because they play in Baltimore at home, and then they go on a 2-week or a week road stint. So after the Boston series, they have a day off Thursday. They play Baltimore for 3, and then they travel to Detroit, Baltimore again, to Baltimore, and then so they have a whole week of baseball. So that could be a time they can go to that, 6-man rotation. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that might have been the last of Brandon Walter and Coach and Gordon as well too.
I wouldn't say on Brandon. Well, Brandon Walter's still hurt. So
well, he's rehabbing for sure. But Gordon
when he comes back, that's an interesting name to keep your eyes on because he did really good starting for the Astros. I don't know if he comes back from that injury the same way he pitched for them or not. It just depends. I don't know what the pitching staff and the coaches have in plan when a guy like that comes back. But for sure, nothing against Jason Alexander, nothing against Colin Gordon. But when Luis Garcia comes back, Christian Javier is already back. JP France and Lance McCullers Jr., It's kind of like that emoji that goes like that, like salute to your service. It's kind of like that, but nothing against them because they did a really good job stepping in for a rotation that was very depleted.
Yeah. But the last two final guys are here on the injury update. Yordan Alvarez, poor Matt Kawahara. Yordan Alvarez is still in the coach's batting practice stage of his hitting progression. Joe Espada said Alvarez hit in the cage today and is scheduled to hit on the field tomorrow in West Palm Beach.
So that's some good news.
And then follow that one up. Let me follow this one up real quick.
Go ahead.
And then follow up with Jake Myers, per Matt Kawahara as well. Myers on the injured since July 11th with the calf strain is rehabbing in Houston while the Astros are on the road. Espada said he received videos of Myers sprinting recently. The intensity has picked up on his running. He's hitting. He's doing some outfield work. Espada said he's progressing well. So two very, very good signs right here.
Yeah, for Yordan, it's huge if they can get him going against live BP, a live, with the live pitcher throwing in front of him. That would be huge. That's a big step in the right direction. Of course, Jake Myers, what he's done this season has been phenomenal. They can get him back, put him in that 8 spot or 7 spot. And of course, more than likely, they'll probably put Cam Smith in the 9 spot. And this team could take off.
Yeah, I think this healthy Astros team is pretty dangerous. So it's just the missing pieces to this team, and once they get them, watch out.
Yeah, especially in an important part of the month of September, which more than likely them two guys could potentially be coming back.
I think so.
It's gonna be.
Say for Alvarez, either late August, early September.
I say early September, second week of September.
Okay.
So number 2 guys that they need back desperately, especially for that playoff push. And
what do you think, Sevan?
In September.
What do you think?
What do you mean? What I think?
Like, what do you think?
Baby, come on.
Yordan.
Probably last week, August.
Okay, late August. All right.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, boys. But what an episode it was of 278 in the books. We appreciate everybody being in attendance and seeing and watching and listening to our thoughts and our debates and our talk throughout this whole time. If you haven't even done so, continue to follow us at Full Steam Ahead on Twitter, on TikTok, FSA Full Steam Ahead on Instagram, and on the YouTube channel. A lot of our people are looking at us at social media. If you don't mind, go to our YouTube page, subscribe to the channel, then you will not miss any of the live podcasts, the interviews with the players and coaches, and all of that good stuff coming out pretty soon. Like I said, we're going to be out. Hopefully, we'll be out there for Hall of Fame weekend when Billy Wagner gets his number retired in the rafters where it displays Dyken Park, which probably more than likely is going to be next to Biggio or Bagwell. I forgot. I think it's Biggio, Bagwell, and then an open spot, or is it's flip-flop? But anyway, it should be cool to see that. And then, of course, the Astros Hall of Famers. I wouldn't be surprised that it's going to be attendance. So hit that notification bell so you do not miss any of those interviews or any of the short reel content that we will be posting. And if you do not see our beautiful faces and you want to listen to our lovely voices on the road, of course, the work week starts. School's fixing to be here. So if you want your kids to get full insight of Astros baseball and just hear our overall thoughts on some particular players or even on their favorite player, make sure you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Like, rate, subscribe, and leave us some feedback, leave us some reviews. We always appreciate the support. Steban, final thoughts before we go.
I think it was a good episode, good turnout of faces in the chat again. Once, like always, appreciate every single one of y'all rocking out with us and trusting in our information, and love listening to our voices and seeing these beautiful faces. Of course, I hope everybody has a great week coming up ahead and everybody stays safe. And hopefully the Astros will give y'all something good to cheer about, especially with this Bregman homestand, Carlos Correa homestand. For those of y'all who are lucky enough to attend tomorrow, be loud, be on your feet, and have fun.
Can too.
No, just thank you for listening. Thank you for being with us. We had a pretty good crowd today. Late night, I know it's about being midnight work day tomorrow, but we appreciate our support and peace.
Like we said, we're the ones that give you the right insight, the right information, and all the good stuff of your favorite Astro players, and of course your team in the Houston Astros. Until then, we'll give you that recap of that Boston Red Sox series, and we'll give you that preview coming up against the Baltimore Orioles of Hall of Fame week. Until then, Y'all have a great start to y'all week. Stay blessed, and we will talk to y'all soon.